Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another wonderful weekly video from here in the Adafruit factory. It's me, Lady Ada, and with me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control and also noodling with the interface for Wirecast to make all of this happen seamlessly. An exciting show for you tonight, as we do every single week. Some very fashionable news.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, the code is dressed in code. We'll tell you why. Adafruit hits the runway and more. We got the show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their projects every single week. Lady Ada will go over those. Pack of the Mailbag's going to stop by, read some letters. Jobs board. Time travel. Wearables. 3D printing. Raspberry Pi news. New products. We're going to answer your question.
Just one question?
We're going to answer your question.
So really, get a good one.
For a Maturia question. All that and more on, you guessed it,
Dun, da, da.
Yeah. All right. That is what we're doing. So a couple little show notes and reminders. Dressed in code is the code, 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, except for gift certificates and software. But that gets you 10% off. All right. The other thing is we still got our special going on, $99 or more, half-size perma proto, $200 or more, free UPS ground. This is reliable, trackable, amazing shipping that actually gets to your door. There's things called SurePost and SmartPost. They are neither sure nor they're neither smart, but they sure are post.
That's the thing. It's post. It always shows up post when you need it.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
We have same-day delivery in New York City to select zip codes on checkout before 11 a.m. You can check it out, and you can see what places in New York City. It's going fine. Everyone who really needs stuff fast, they use it.
Is it working out?
Yeah, it's working out.
Great.
You know it's working out because we're still doing it. If something doesn't work out, we actually stop doing it. We will not do something that doesn't work out. We will say, you know what, we're not committed to failure. Let's not do something that doesn't work out. And then a programming note, don't forget, every single week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their stuff. Wednesday nights, which you're watching now, is Ask an Engineer. So, Lady Ada, let's get this party started.
Get this party started.
Yeah, the show and tell.
Yeah.
Is our weekly show, the longest running show and tell show in the world right now. It's not even, it's just crazy that someone would want to do this for 4 years, but we did, and we do, and we will. And so we had people around the world show and share stuff this week.
And I wrote them down.
What did they do?
Okay, we start off with Tony DeCola from Adafruit Northwest, who's been jamming real hard on this really cool Bluetooth Energy desktop app. So we have the Adafruit Bluefruit modules. It's our Bluetooth Energy modules. They're awesome. People love them. They've been out for a couple months now, and they're like the best. And we have an app for Android and iOS, and people like them. But what if you want to connect to Bluetooth LE devices using a desktop? Well, with a lot of hacking and experimentation, Tony D has come up with a way of doing cross-platform applications using Node.js and Electron from Google, and Noble, which is this Node Bluetooth Energy library that works with Windows 7, which is amazing because Windows 7 does not have native Bluetooth Energy support, but Noble works with it. So you can actually use this with Linux, Mac, or Windows, like any version, to connect to Bluetooth Energy devices, not just Bluefruit devices from Adafruit, although we, of course, suggest that because we know they work. And he demoed that. He's going to be releasing a beta sometime this week or next, so check that out. If you've done anything with Bluetooth Energy, you will be excited. And then Pedro showed off next week's project, which is a charging Qi holder for iOS devices. So if you have like an iPhone and you want to not have to plug in a lightning cable, that sucks, plugging in cables. You want to just be able to place it on a holder and it will automatically start charging. They designed one, and they will talk about that tomorrow, 3D Thursday. Robert came in with an RC airplane. He does RC airplane stuff, and one of the things about airplanes is you basically have to have these motors that are DC motors or brushed or brushless motors. I think they're brushless motors, and they have to be very efficient and very fast, and they have to be matched and even and work the way you want, because once it's flying, it's flying, like it's in the air. If the motor fails, it falls out of the sky and
He
breaks.
had a cool jet.
Yes, he had a cool jet, and he built a motor characterizer. So he used a high current and voltage meter and a load cell for as a thrust meter measuring device, and then of course a DS18B20 and similar Dallas temperature sensor for temperature, and basically graph this so we can categorize, like, depending on the voltage and current, how much thrust and how hot does the motor get, so we can characterize his motor. So it's neat. Sean came in with a simple project, but a very lovable project. Is a little Altoid tin speaker, a little one of our little speakers with a 3-watt amplifier and a headphone jack, and you just plug it right into your MP3 player or whatever.
Yeah. Also played music from Adafruit, which was a nice
smart.
touch
Thank
on
you.
because we get shut down on YouTube even when we have the rights to music, or if it's public domain music. Hey, remember the time that that company shut us down because they said they own America the Beautiful?
That was like 2 months ago.
That was July 4th.
Yeah, that was 2 months ago.
That was an American story.
America.
It was like, yay, America.
Where's the goth flag? Like, can you go quickly to the goth flag?
We're gonna get there.
No, right now. I mean, I feel patriotic. Yeah.
America.
Oh, I'm so sad. But I
America,
love this country.
America, we'll make it better or something.
Okay, let's go back there. All right, next up, Rick Winscott, who's done a lot of awesome projects for us in the learning system, has a little 3D printed robot, fully 3D printed, and uses 2 micro servos, continuous rotation micro servos, and he's going to demo it at New York Maker Faire. And he brought up an interesting thing. If you have 2 micro servos, right, and they're back to back, so there's 2 wheels, and they're, the wheels are in opposite directions, you can't use most standard like servo controllers, like wireless controllers, because one wheel will turn one way and the other will turn the other way, like they're the opposite direction.
Right.
If you go forward with both, because they're flipped around, it'll spin in a circle. So you used a Pro Trinket to listen into the wireless receiver and measure the pulse widths, and then like output on another pin, on like a servo pin, the opposite, like you would reverse it. That's a cute hack.
Yeah, that's nice.
Richard has been working on using a trinket for controlling NeoPixels and having like mode selection, so you can use buttons to like select the mode and what effect you want to play. And he's playing around and learning about interrupts on the AT-Tiny so that he can listen for button presses and have the button presses still work even in the middle of a NeoPixel effect. So that's great. And then C. Scott showed off a MIDI CV project he's working on, as well as a very bad design for a power distribution system for some sort of rack, some like multi-voice rack, and it was basically trying to put 1 amp through 10 mil traces, which will work, but will it's just not good. Like, it'll get really hot. You have a high resistance drop.
Yeah, it's cool. He actually outlined what he's going to do to make the power supply better. He's going to contact them.
He's going to contact the designer and be
cool.
like, hey, like,
Very
this
nice.
is probably one of your first boards, and you didn't have an AC power engineer look at it. Like, after doing, like I'll put a 1 amp through, like, 24 mil traces, but, like, the board was this long.
Yeah.
So, the longer it is, the thicker the traces have to be. So, for a small board, you can have, if the board is, like, teeny, you could put an amp through 10 mil trace. But the minute you start talking about, like, a foot, you have to have like 100 mils or more. So
Okay. All right. All
That's
participants
Chantel.
on the show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. Lady Ada, how does someone get on the show and tell?
if you would like to join me, Miss Lady Ada, Mr. Lady Ada, and then other wonderful people who show up every week on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. on the show and tell, you can. You'll have to get a Google Plus account and then go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/plus symbol Adafruit, and look for the thread with AdaBot that says, hey, comment here to get added to the show and tell circle. Comment there. You will be added. You will join the other 600 people who are invited every week to show off their awesome maker projects, hacker projects, costumes, robots, 3D printed, airplanes, like tools, synthesizers, anything that you want to show off that you've built. Please come by and do so. We even go for retro technology if it's really cool. Just be aware, because there are 600 people who get invited, all of you wonderful people, and there's only 9 slots, or even sometimes like 6 or 7 slots by the time, because people are very fast. Just be aware, you may have to sign up. You might have to watch and refresh very quickly.
Yeah, one
to
of the
get
things
in.
I do too on the event page in Google Plus,
Yeah.
I'll post the link So sometimes the invites take a while because we have 555 people right now in the
And
circle.
it does a ka-chunk.
Yeah,
ka-chunk.
and so you can post a link and get in. But basically, it's been working out, so I've been doing that.
Okay,
All
so
right.
I'm just letting you guys know. But please join us
Yeah.
every week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, next up. Back to Mailbag. We read these letters to the entire company every single week, and we read them to you. These are letters that you send in to us. This one is from Kevy, or it might be Kevin, and we just dropped in. Hey, I'm an illustrator and visual display artist from Canada. I think Kevy'd be cooler.
Kevy's cooler.
Yeah.
I was Kevy.
It's like people named Christopher, they're like Topher. Anyways, I've always had a huge interest in tech projects, but coming from the art side and not the engineering side, it's been a lot to wrap my head around. I've always tinkered here and there, but with no formal training, you can only go so far. I've recently getting back into Arduino using Adafruit's helpful no-nonsense products. Almost every tutorial that's related to what I want to learn and do seems to be made by you. 7-segment display with Trinket arcade inputs with the Pi, and the Larson scanner and sunglasses to name a few. I just thought I would send a personal message of thanks for those tutorials, as they've been very helpful and well-presented ways into getting what I've been wanting to be more proficient in for years. Thank you, Kevy or Kevin. We really appreciate that email. All right, next up. Help wanted. So the Adafruit's jobs board, adafruit.com/jobs, is the place that makers post their skills and companies post their job openings for makers to apply. Now some weeks, and most weeks, I post up, here's a company looking for a job. However, this week I'm going to post up a good example of a maker who has skills, who wants people to know about it so they can do work. So this one is from Dave, a highly experienced SOLIDWORKS engineer. I am a highly experienced SOLIDWORKS application engineer and hold a plethora of advanced certifications. I am also a CNC machine designer and builder, as well as a 3D print designer and building and general 3D printing. Highly skilled in SketchUp Pro, Autodesk architecture. Thank you. Now what's funny is we get emails all the time and people ask, do you know anyone like this? And now we have the jobs board, and so we can say, yeah.
Hire this person.
We know Dave.
We don't know personally, but hire this fine engineer. He will be able to design your enclosure or robot or encasement or mechanism.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you're going to go to manufacture, you need a proper engineer to do it eventually anyways, just to get your materials right. Might as well just start with a good one.
These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know. Someone will get it out there. It's a Kids in the Hall skit.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. Most live show things, I think, eventually devolve into a Kids in the Hall skit.
Oh,
Anyways, all right, so we have
I want to be Chicken Lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
And clashing your head. And clashing all of the periscope heads. And clashing a lady. No. Nice, good, get it. Okay. All right. You know, I used to drink on the show. I don't do it so much anymore.
No, we used to have beer. Now
I used to drink a lot more than
yeah.
beer. When I was doing the shipping and it was late at night and we did it on Saturday night, we did Ask an Engineer at Saturday night at 10. I was absolutely drinking. Anyways, so we have some open source hardware news. Here's the big news. We're almost done with, this is more space. This is more Adafruit. Right now, this is, look how we have these beautiful polished concrete floors that we did. We did a build out. We put in all the AC.
It's been painted.
Yeah, it's great.
We have electrical. We have vents. You have this lovely AC.
Yeah, we did all the stuff.
This is the other side.
Yeah, we did all the stuff, and it's just about ready for us to move in. So this is in the same building. Altogether, we have well over 50,000 square feet. We are a manufacturing company. We got news today. This is going to be announced pretty soon. Not only was Adafruit in the Inc. 5000, but Adafruit is one of 50 companies led by women that are in this list, so you're going to be profiled in this too.
Yay.
And we'll see. We have some other surprises soon. But basically, this whole idea of manufacturing in the U.S., specifically Manhattan, New York City, for us, it works. And there's reasons it works for us and probably wouldn't work for others, but we're doing it. So anyways, this is a little preview. I took a pano and I posted it up on the site. Yeah,
so this 10th floor is going to be our manufacturing. It's going to be where we do most of the manufacturing. So right now we have one floor and we do manufacturing, we're warehousing, and we do videos, and it's great and we love it. But like the shipping department's getting large enough, and we want to have Fab and Kitting have their own like space where they can really organize it. So we're going to move part of this floor upstairs. Yeah. Be able to get some more equipment, such as selective solder machines, wave solder machines.
We have some more equipment on the way, and then we also, everything was in about this size in a living room just like 3 years ago. So this is an incredible amount of space that we
Yeah, it's
have.
a big leap, but I think this is we're going to be doing this for a very, very long time. So being able to really like set up a system where we will be able to do manufacturing, and it's like not like right now everything has to be moved constantly because we're constantly like growing and like getting space and like moving things around to fit more people. We want to have room to grow. So it's going to be a room to grow.
Okay. Next up, this is really other. So I just have a news section here. This is kind of Lady Ada news hour here. So you were in Popular Science with Neil deGrasse Tyson, famous physicist, hosted Cosmos. He's at the Hayden Planetarium. You were having breakfast with him on Friday, and you're both featured in Popular Science. And I'm completely jealous of you because I have so many physics questions that I would ask him. But you are going to be there, so you're going to have breakfast with Neil deGrasse Tyson. So here's our request for you. If you guys have any questions for Neil deGrasse Tyson, go to the blog post on adafruit.com/blog and post them up. We got a couple good ones. Things about information. Does it disappear on the event horizon? Hawking's just recently did that.
Come up with projects so it's not just Phil's questions.
Yeah, there's things like that. And, he's also known for kind of nuking Pluto as a planet. So,
he's anti-planet Pluto?
Yeah, it's not really a planet.
Okay.
So anyway, it's planetoid, perhaps. You're going to be having breakfast. This is like way too much brain power in one spot.
Okay.
So,
what if he wants to just ask me about engineering electronics?
That's fine, too, but maybe you have some questions about the universe. Or the terrible secret of space, perhaps.
The terrible secrets of space.
Anyways, you're having breakfast with them. It's cool.
For sure, robot.
Super cool. Congratulations.
I'm
really happy for you in America.
You can go with me.
All right. So next up.
I'm just hungry. I don't even know. I mean,
right.
By the way, it's probably going to be like 30 people at a gigantic table, and I'll be like at one end, and he'll be at the other. I won't even
I think it's just going to be you and him uncomfortably staring at each other.
We will be in the black hole.
Yeah.
All right.
So on the 16th, Untitled magazine's coming out, and this is the first time that you're in a straight up fashion magazine. So there's all these like fashion people, and then there's you, Lady Ada. So you have all these wearable stuff. So this is coming out next week, and you're in a fashion magazine. Congratulations.
We're like, let's just wear like all the wearables. So that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So next up, don't forget, adafruitdaily.com is out. It is doing really well. We have lots of people signed up. We have 2 newsletters right now, and they have nothing to do with your store account. We will never spam you. It has nothing to do with any information you give us. It's only Adafruit Daily. It's adafruitdaily.com. We wanted to have a newsletter that you can make sure 100% you'll never be sold out. It would be terrible to be a marketer here, because there's nothing to do because we just don't do marketing.
You sit around.
No, we don't.
It's like the Maytag man.
We don't sell you out. So what you do is you go to adafruitdaily.com and you can get a wearable newsletter a day, and or a maker business one a day. And the maker business one is the one that I write, and I have a couple other people that help me with it.
Yeah.
And then Wearables, Becky, and she gets tips from others. And it's the only Wearables daily newsletter, and this is the only daily maker business newsletter right now.
Okay.
And one of the things I hate, and you hate this, we talked about this.
Ooh, I hate. What
do
I hate?
When you go to a website and they have a big thing that pops up and they force you to sign the newsletter. Isn't it the
that
worst?
So much.
You know what it is? Because it's interruption.
They make the little X so small, and if I'm on an iPad, you can't hit the X. And if you don't hit the X right in the middle of the X, it's like, congratulations, we've signed you up for 5,000 things.
Yeah.
And if we've like installed apps, like,
yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
And you know what else I hate is when, you get past that. So you're like trying to get to a website and you're like, okay, you get in and you're like, you're going to order something. And you have to be the most delicate surgeon in the history of like neurosurgery to find the right click so that it's like, because it automatically says, send me a newsletter every day, every hour.
Sign me up.
Yeah. And you have to be like a pixel surgeon. So to find the right
That's what I'm
thing.
saying. It's always like light, unsubscribe me, there's like a light gray on white.
You need an iPad Pro that has a resolution of 8,000 so you can like zoom in. Anyways. So we have a newsletter. So that's going on. All right, next up. We're still making Arduinos. And while we are not allowed to say how many we're shipping,
is it a lot?
It is a lot more.
Okay.
So we are allowed to say a lot more. The Arduinos are assembled here in the USA. We're very happy with it, and they're agonized over by goths in New York City is our little thing, what we like to say. Okay, Adafruit Learning System, Lady Ada, this week we are up to 843 tutorials.
It's been a teeny bit slow, but we're going to get back into exciting tutorial land soon. Everyone want to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
In around Labor Day, so there's not tons of new tutorials.
Everybody took a break with you. You were cranking.
Yeah, well, no, but I wasn't cranking tutorials. I did like hardware. I designed like 25 boards.
Yeah.
Which is why there's going to be a little bit of a delay on the new products. So but we're going to have
two newsletters. Newsletters. It's 2 learning guides. This is running programs automatically on your tiny computer.
This is a tutorial by Brennan, and this is a commonly requested tutorial. It's basically like you have a Raspberry Pi or a BeagleBone Black, and you want to have something start on boot. So like if you are running some application or like having it play video. So this tutorial just shows you how to basically make something that always occurs when you boot up your computer. Very handy. It's Linux only, but it shows you both ways of doing it, both sys5 type and also systemd type. Okay.
And then the next one, which I have a video too that I can show you. This is a really cool one. This is the electronic animated eyes using the Teensy. And this is from Phil B. And this is amazing.
This is so creepy.
It's amazing. And here's just like, this is what you can make this. Isn't that cool that someone can make this?
Yeah, and it looks even, I mean, like this is like with video, and you're like, OLEDs don't even look that good on video. So these are like super hyper realistic eyeballs, and there's like different kinds of eyeballs. Like this is the human eyeballs, but there's also one that's a cat-like. There's one that's goat-like. There's like a dragon-like one. You can like change the iris, like you can customize it. The irises react to light, so they like grow and contract based on the light sensor. They're just like super creepy, realistic eyes that you can integrate into like a mask or a costume or a prop. So we're kind of getting into some Halloween stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And next up. Adafruit comic book reading list. Every single week we post up comic books that people here are reading. Zay, who's in charge of shipping, is on a tear. He actually wrote about one of my favorite comics. This is the Hip Hop Family Tree, and this is a really cool series. The author of it just got a Eisner Award, I think it's called.
For this,
Yeah, and it's really cool. And it's just the history of hip hop all in a comic book form.
And what's cool is like the drawing style and like the paper. He kind of made it look like it was drawn on like 1970s, 1980s like comic paper. It kind of has this like kind of a weathered look to it. You got the full set, like the series 1 and series 2. So I've been slowly going through it, and it's like it's super nerdy.
Yeah.
Like it's like the most detailed like specific history of like hip hop culture, graffiti, breakdancing, video. It's got everything. Like I'm learning so much. I'm like I can't even keep track because there's like hundreds of people involved, but each one is a character and he's drawing them, and it's just great.
I found that I like science fiction space stuff because it seems like there's a chance that could happen, but I'm not so like I'm starting to drift away from like fantasy fiction, but like the hip hop stuff it's history. And it's in an illustrated format. So to me, this is kind of like, it's like, some people like to watch biopics or read biographies.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that because it's real. It has like useful information. And you can like, oh, that's cool. That's Dr. Dre.
Yeah, you would never be able to fit all of this into like a movie. I mean, this is like, it's
I got optioned apparently for an animated series.
Animated series, but like it would have to be like years. I mean, there's just so much information.
Yeah, I think the trick's going to be, if they do an animated series, can they get the music rights? Because there's shows like WKRP in Cincinnati where the music rights are different than when the show was made. Yeah. So I don't think they can do reruns in the same way.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That is a problem. They have to have
the music. It's weird that things existed and don't, and nothing's changed except for us.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right. Other news, Adafruit is a media sponsor. That means that basically we're covering Maker Faire there as press because, we're kind of like the press too. Let me tell everyone a little pro tip. If you're ever worried about getting press coverage or things about your startup or products or whatever, don't wait around. Especially don't wait around for big media companies because they suck and they'll do terrible articles that have nothing to do with your thing. Make your own media. So we developed Adafruit blog, and it's around 11 million page views, around 2 million uniques, and we're now a media source for people. Some people, this is where they get their news from. News as far as electronics is concerned, maybe art and science and other stuff. But I'm really disappointed with the business publications out there because we're not Uber and we're not a startup and we're not like taking huge amounts of funding and then there's not puff articles and then they go away and they never follow up when like, hey, maybe funding wasn't okay, maybe you blew all the money, maybe you guys are a bunch of jerks. You know, they
you have like a...
No, they never do the
You
follow-up.
have an axe to grind. Can I say that? This is an axe to grind?
Yeah, well...
It's like an axe. Do you want a little axe?
Here's the thing. Although there is a spotlight on you occasionally as being a female founder and doing stuff like that, there's way more business articles about dudes who have really shitty companies that are not going anywhere. But, how many women are on the cover of like some of these business publications? And we do a post every single month.
It's usually guys.
Yeah, and like just saying.
They have lovely button-down shirts.
So we're now a media sponsor. We're covering Maker Faire the way we want to, and we're probably going to cover it different.
Hardcore.
Yeah, we're going to cover it different because
like Goth Americans.
Yeah, we're going to have different interests than normally what you see. So, anyways, it's coming up. Watch it. Watch the coverage. We have Noah and Pedro. Becky's going to be there.
Yep.
You and I are going to be there.
And photos, video,
you're going to go to Maker. You're going to experience Maker Faire how we experience it.
Yeah, we probably won't be able to Periscope because I'm sure the
I'm going to Periscope.
You want to try? Okay.
Absolutely. Anyways. Okay, so next up, we've been doing this cool thing. I'm going to talk over this. We've been doing some Periscopes, speaking of Periscope, from the desk of Lady Ada. And this is our little intro. And from the desk of Lady Ada is our new series that we do live when you're just working at your desk. And so I wanted to point out a couple of things. Mm-hmm. We were able to do something really cool. We had a leak in our bathroom. It's like
that's a leak.
This is like the first time people probably showed leaky bathroom photos live on the internet. Okay. But anyways, the toilet hardware wasn't working out, and it was overflowing, and there was also leaks in different places. And in order for us to live our lives, we eventually have to leave our apartment.
Get this leak.
Yeah. But it was leaking so bad that we wanted to make sure that we would be notified so we could go turn off the water or notify the landlord. If it was up to us, we would just repair it ourselves. But when you have a landlord, they kind of have to do it, and we're touching water, so it's a bad scene. Yeah. So anyways, we got this cool thing, and you were able to make an Internet of Things device live on Periscope using just the stuff that we do with Adafruit.io, our new Internet of Things service, and the Huzzah, and you took an off-the-shelf water detector, and you connected it all together, and you just did it, and that was while you were talking to people. So Adafruit.io and all the stuff is working out really well. So anyways, that was what we did live on Periscope. It was part of our ongoing series of Internet of Things that we like to talk about.
The happy Nimbus cloud.
Yeah, and for us, Internet of Things is a little different. There's a couple of journalists, and there's some cranky people. And there was the New York Times article, and we actually wrote about this. And the New York Times article was basically slamming, all the silly IoT companies. And I agree, there's a lot of silly ones. Like, oh, it's a ring that tells you like not to eat, and like it's internet connected or something. But the author on this New York Times article, you can look at it on our site. They basically were saying like, you can't. I went to a design conference, and I saw these things, and therefore the Internet of Things movement is kind of silly. And it's a New York Times author, so they didn't dig in. They didn't look on their own site and saw that Adafruit has an Internet of Things Bill of Rights, that people like you are publishing open source code and open source hardware so people can make their own things. And it's actually more about learning and sharing and experimentation for a certain segment, but it's not fun to write an article about that because it's positive. So this article, like I posted up, a little bit of a response. And when I read the article, it reminded me of that phrase that Warner said in like 1927, who wants to hear actors talk? Because it's true, like who wants to hear actors talk? I mean, they're just, it's nonsense. But it's the stories that people told once they got talkies, and it's the things they did afterwards that made talkies make sense. So, kind of give Internet of Things a chance. And if you're out there and you're doing a company, this is kind of like the internet. It reminds me of when it came along. There was a bunch of stupid web pages. There's still a bunch of stupid web pages.
Yeah.
But like, it's okay to experiment, and some things are going to fail. But I don't think we should like I went to a design conference. I didn't see anything I liked. Nothing for me. Yeah. But like for us, there's nothing out there that emails us when there's a toilet leak. And the people who are going to make stuff like that are going to learn a lot. And we'll probably continue to make a business around it. So there's benefits of this stuff. I don't think they should slam it.
Well, I mean, like, it's fair. I mean, like, it's if they want to slam it, that's fine. It just means that other people will be like, oh, we have to prove that this person's wrong by showing all the good examples.
But there's...
Like, I would prefer that somebody writes something that says this isn't a good idea than just everybody saying, wow, this is the best idea ever. There should be some criticism.
But the problem with the New York Times specifically, and I've seen this before. So a week before Quirky announced they lost $100 million, they'd had a puff piece about how great Quirky is.
Yeah, but it's a different author. There's like 5,000 authors. Like, who knows who
it's the New York. It's a collective vibe. They celebrate the stuff that they like. Oh, look, venture funded company. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then there was no follow up. Like they blew $185 million altogether.
Yeah.
Okay, and they did an egg minder. It's a thing that it tells you.
But everybody thought the egg minder was stupid.
But not in this article. They're just like, oh, like they're crowdsourcing innovation.
Yeah.
And my point is, they have a very big article about that, and then they go super negative on something so new. Internet of Things is so new. It's like it's not even have the chance.
Okay, well, I'm used to the New York Times mostly being critiquey about stuff. Like, that's kind of, they like to be contrarian.
Sure,
like
but
they're always like, oh, like technology is so bad for you. Like, that's the new thing. Like, everybody loves to write articles about, like, oh, like Tinder is like killing America's youth. Like, that's
no, it's not.
I know, but I'm saying that's the art because those are the articles that get clicks. It's controversial.
But you can, I think, yeah, I agree. You know, like terrible news sells. But I think you can put in. Here's some stuff that's working though.
Well, it's very new, so it doesn't matter. Like Internet of Things is only like, we've been talking about it for a while, but nothing's really been purchasable for like maybe 2 years.
Maybe it's just me projecting. I like articles that say, boy, a bunch of stuff didn't work out, but here's the stuff that did, and here's the people who are trying hard. Like you gotta can you end it with but don't worry, there's people working on it, and here they are.
Well, you can write for the New York Times.
I don't want to write for the New York Times.
You can write for the Adafruit blog.
I write for the Adafruit blog. All right, so next up, do you know that Hacker is 20 years old? Do you know that we have a little mini Hackers Museum? We have all the Hacker CDs.
Oh, I know.
And the big news is we're going to be stocking the Blu-rays soon for the people who have Bluebrays. Mm-hmm. You know, apparently the Xbox has a Blu-ray player now. I didn't realize this.
Oh, great. Then we can get an Xbox.
So we got the soundtracks and everything, and this is all us getting prepared. JWZ has DNA Lounge. They're doing a 20 Years of Hackers event in the DNA Lounge, San Francisco. We're going to give some prizes for them, and they're going to be playing Wipeout on all the screens. So this is our event portion of the show. So anyways, we're not going to be out there because we have to be here for Maker Faire. But that is like one of the things I would fly out for and then fly back. But we can't make it.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Same exact day.
Same exact day as everything else. All right, time travel. Look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, big moments in time. This is maybe one of the biggest. 1966, the first episode of Star Trek premiered on NBC.
Okay.
All right, so in early 1964...
Wagon Train to the Stars.
Yeah. Roddenberry presented a brief treatment of a proposed Star Trek TV series and comparing it to Wagon Train, a wagon train to the stars, and they did it. The first one was The Cage, and it had Captain Christopher Pike, and they rejected Cage, and then they got a second pilot where No Man Has Gone Before, and that's where Shatner came in. So this is a big deal. 1966.
The Man Trap.
Yeah, completely changed things for a lot of people, including myself. Okay, Wearables. This week on Wearables, we've got Becky, and she's going to show the SOTAP circuit, and then we have a fashion show thing that we're going to show. So take it away, Becky.
Hey everybody, this is the new Flora sewable JST wiring adapter. It's great for connecting sewable components like these individual NeoPixels with wired components like this NeoPixel ring. It's easy to use and stitches right into your circuit just like another pixel with data, power, and ground connections. Don't miss our guide on sewing the perfect pixel circuit or this video about all the different types of NeoPixels. The SOTAP comes with a 3-pin JST wire that plugs right in. This is convenient for testing different components or creating a modular design that comes apart easily for reuse. It would have been ideal when we made the Cortana costume with sewable pixels and a NeoPixel ring, where instead I had to sew directly to the stranded wire. You can pick up this latest addition to our sewable electronics line in the Adafruit shop and let us know what you're building in the comments. And we'd love to see your projects on our weekly Show and Tell Hangout on Google+, and don't forget to subscribe for more wearable electronics here at Adafruit.
All right, we're back. So next up, congratulations. Flora hit the runway in a big way.
We did.
There was a Google Made with Code event and this is from Zac. I don't know if I pronounced the last name
Posen?
correct. Yeah, Posen. And this was Made with Code. You were part of the Made with Code efforts when Google first launched, and this is getting young women in particular into code. And they do that through all sorts of ways. This is a backpack that was made. This was at the event. Here you are. This is a coded backpack. And then this is the event. And there was a behind-the-scenes tour, and you can see all the different electronics. There's Flora. Here's the dress. And one of the cool things about this is it was so easy and approachable and possible to do. We didn't even know about it. So in the past, Wearables was very difficult, and you had to kind of get the designer of the board and such. But this was made with 500 LEDs. It was coded up. Here you are at the fashion show.
There was a fashion walk.
Yeah, and
Runway thing.
yeah, I have a quick little 20-second clip, and this is just when the dress came out. And then here's some of the folks who worked on it, including the
This is the
designer, Maddie.
coders.
Yeah. Here you are, designer, and then here you are, the model. And then Becky actually has a really nice video that has the entire day.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hello. I'm on my way to the Zac Posen show where we're going to see some LED dress designed by Maddie Maxey and programmed by teenage girls from the Made with Code site. Super excited.
Well, thank you very much for coming today and enjoying the show. Thank you, Coco. I also wanted to invite Maddie, who worked on the technology for the dress and was instrumental in this project. I'm all about promoting technology for women and finding things. Thank you.
This mesh is genius, right? To shine the LEDs through. So Jess and I are at the Zac Posen fashion show, and we met. What's your name?
Jeff.
Nice to meet you. Who worked on the dress?
Yes,
Super
I did.
cool. How many LEDs are there?
There's like 201, I suppose.
Nice. It's
Hi,
nice to meet
guys.
you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay. And don't forget Wearable Electronics, Becky Stern, every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Colin was a co-host today. I went to the doctor and our site went down while I was like I didn't have any clothes on, and so that was kind of terrorizing. And the doctor said, "What's going on?" Because every device I have like notifies me.
Yeah.
And I had like I had my little bag, and just like everything's like fill. So that's a new one.
Okay.
That's a new one. Like,
but you survived.
No, it's fine.
Barely.
Like, it's just the way it is. Like every Wednesday, because like I'm doing so many different things, like it's always like a test. And so today was like, I mean, I should just like sit in a room and be ready on Wednesdays. Okay. All right. So next up, we have some 3D printing stuff. I'm really excited. Noah and Pedro are going to be out Maker Faire. I'm going to hang out with them.
Okay.
They're super cool. So this week, besides 3D Thursday, which is every Thursday at 3 p.m., they're going to show a video. And this is all about dual extrusion this week. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Noah, and you're watching Adafruit on YouTube. This is the show about 3D printing and DIY electronics. Today we're taking a look at dual extrusion, and we're going to find out if two heads really are better than one. Two nozzles, one head. Dual extrusion is when you 3D print with multiple filaments. You can mix colors or different materials with a print head that has two extruders. With two spools loaded, the printer alternates between them by printing one at a time. The FlashForge Creator Pro has an MK8 spring-loaded direct drive capable of dual extrusion. It has an onboard LCD screen with options to load filament, so it's actually really easy to set up. To load, simply press on the handle and push the filament down into the extruder. The G-code start script will prime the nozzles and purge before each print. The printer will know what color or material to use based on how you prepare your model. They actually need to be separated and exported individually. So check out the guide linked below for setting up your models and printer profile. There's also recommended slice settings. So here's a few projects that you can 3D print with dual extruders. Use PLA and conductive filament to make a battery tester. You can combine NinjaFlex and conductive PLA to make wearables with embedded circuitry. Or you can twist colors together to make a majestic unicorn horn for epic wearables. And why not roll up some colorful tones to make a multicolored D20?
Impressive.
We think these projects are a great way to test and calibrate dual extruders. You can of course download and remix these projects, so be sure to check them out. So there you have it, a quick overview on dual extrusion. Be sure to check out the projects linked below. And if you've made anything with dual extrusion, please let us know because we want to see what you guys are working on. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, but until then, be sure to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit. I'll see you guys next week.
Okay. All right. So for
again.
Yeah, for Raspberry Pi news, I'm rolling this up into new products because they released a new screen. It will be here shortly. It was delayed, but they're on their way to us. Lady Ada will talk about that soon. Before that, though, we're going to give you the code. Dresden code is the code tonight, 10% off in the Adafruit store, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Lady Ada, it is time for new products.
Do this thing.
It's new product time. All right. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
Go. What's this?
Okay, we're starting off with the C4 Labs Metro Mini case. It's just an adorable little case, and so I thought this would be, like, we don't have an enclosure for the Metro Mini, so I thought this would be a nice one to have. It has multiple layers, and you can kind of configure it and, like, remove and add layers as necessary. And I just thought, like, okay, this is kind of an interesting little case that you can make a little protector. It's not expensive, so I thought we'd carry this in the store.
Okay. Can you show it on the overhead?
Yeah, I'm showing on the
I think it's
overhead.
overhead.
Yeah. Do you want to, I can zoom in. Yeah, so it's multiple layers of acrylic. There's clear and black, and they're like layered. It's called zebra because it's black and white layers. And then the pins come out, so you can still stick in a breadboard. And you have a little bit of space inside, so you can like probably stick a little breakout board or some LEDs or a little NeoPixel strip or whatever. And then there's slots, so you could have the header pins come up like with stacking headers. And then there's like the micro USB connector. It's just a little case, very easy to put together. Just like 4 screws. You just stack it together and attach it.
All right, next up. Another case. This is really cool.
So I kind of promised myself not to carry any more Raspberry Pi cases because there's bazillions of Raspberry Pi cases.
We've
but this
talked
one,
about this.
This one was really cool looking.
Yeah,
and so
this C4 Labs, we decided on this one because we're like, you know what? Like,
this is just really cute.
more. This is the one.
It's got the live hinge.
Yeah.
It's made out of wood.
We get a special
Smells great.
place in our cold dark hearts that for laser cut wood. It's
And
really nice.
And this is just really great wood, and it's like engraved. I don't even know exactly how he does. I mean, like, it's just
super cool.
awesome. It's
I
a
like
really
that.
beautiful design. So we decided to carry it.
Okay, show it on the overhead. Just may as well.
So let me zoom out.
You know it's good when it looks good on the overhead.
Yeah, you get this like cute little. It's not the Raspberry Pi logo, just some raspberries. It's nice. Thank you for not using the logo. It's got like labels for everything. You can see the LEDs. It's got this kind of like funky car hood ornament look to it. On the bottom, it has C4 Labs.
Yeah. Okay.
You can have a GPIO come out. And it's interesting because it's not, most cases it's like the front is this, but they actually did it so it's from the side. It's actually kind of a good idea. So the back, it's like, it's oriented a little bit better.
Yeah. One of the things I really like about Raspberry Pi cases is the creativity that has gone into them. Like, there's a menagerie of Raspberry Pi cases.
Menagerie.
A menagerie of Raspberry Pi cases out there that people have really done amazing stuff. I don't think
It's got little legs. I mean, like, this is really cute. So I carry it.
I don't think that when you design something like the Raspberry Pi, you could ever imagine what people might do with it. That's why I actually like little dev boards that have an entire ecosystem around, like Arduino or Raspberry Pi. And a successful one, like, there's probably, I would say, at least 200 different cases that you can get for Raspberry Pi.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Right? Like, at least 200 different ones. I'm not talking about different colors. I'm just talking about different cases.
Oh, there's like tons of, we can't carry them all. We get questions every single day about carrying case.
Yeah.
I really try to not carry that many.
So it's just, it's another, like, good example of the good job the Pi Foundation did with what and how they release something.
Yeah.
Because you could try to own it all, and you could have from the start said, this is the only case, this is the only thing.
We have to move on.
I know, I'm just saying, it's a neat little bit of history, because I don't think we're going to see stuff like this forever.
You're telling me to rush the new products, so.
You're at 8:47, you're doing good. Okay, so this one is a coming soon. This is Raspberry Pi screen. And it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. We don't even have one to demo. We heard about it when you guys heard about it. However, we can. I do have some other stuff that's kind of related and interesting, so I thought I'd show it off.
Well, yeah, I was just going to ask you one question with this. Like, what's the big deal with this? Is it because there's a different type of way it drives the display?
It drives it through the DSI port, so it's not the HDMI connector. It's a different connector. So you can have an HDMI screen and a DSI screen. Also, it has capacitive touch capabilities, and it's like 7-inch screen, so it's a nice little display.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be coming in the store soon. Mm-hmm. And then you had some stuff you wanted to show.
Yeah, I don't actually have a screen, but I have something similar, so I could like talk about the design of how they did it.
And you ran and got a chip or something, right?
Yeah, I did. Can you go to the red?
Yeah. I'm already there.
So the first thing is, this is a 5-inch screen, but this is a 5-inch screen with capacitive overlay. So this is kind of what they've got, but the 7-inch version. So 800 by 480 displays tend to use TTL. So there's like a 50-pin connector or a 40-pin connector, and there's actually like 8 pins for red, 8 pins for green, 8 pins for blue, and then like 1 clock pin. And this is how you talk to these displays. So it's not actually talking to, the Pi screen isn't talking to the display using DSI raw. It's actually using a converter. I'll talk about that in a second. And secondly, there's a different flex circuit here, and that's for the capacitive overlay. So that's actually a completely different circuit. So like this board has, a 5-inch screen that's the underneath, and then layered on top of it is this glass that actually does the capacitive touch. And then what's interesting is actually a couple weeks ago, or like 2 or 3 months ago, actually was thinking like, well, like if I wanted to drive a circuit using DSI, and I wanted to drive one of these types of displays, a TTL display with DSI, I need to get a little chip. So I actually picked up some of these Toshiba chips. You can barely see them, but they're BGA. Wow. So I was actually going to make a breakout for these because I was like, well, like I figured eventually there would be some documentation for the DSI port. I'd want to have a breakout that would be able to like drive any kind of display, not just like the Pi screen. People who want, like, they have like a smaller display or a larger display or whatever they want to just have TTL output. And this is the TC358779XBG. So that's from Toshiba. And yeah, this is just like a pretty fine pitch BGA. I mean, like, It's not the worst design because I think all the middle pins are all grounds, and then you can get to some of these other pins. But basically, there's 40 plus pads are to the TTL control, and then there's probably another like 6 or 7 control pads for the TTL, and then it has to have the DSI inputs, which is also like 6 or 7 pins. So that's how they crammed that many connections into a little chip. So yeah, it's a little BGA. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I have 10 of these chips.
Okay.
They're cool. Maybe I'll be able to design a breakout.
All right.
Plug and place it. But that's basically how the design works. It uses a chip like that, maybe even the same chip, to convert the DSI signal into 40-pin TTL, and then that's why there's a hat. There's a little chip, and then there's like you see a 40-pin connector, and then the display wraps around.
Okay, so that's why it's a big deal. All right, and then tonight, the star of the show, besides you, is the little sensor. This is cool.
It's a little silicon mic. I'm actually going to
Yeah.
be using this for a different project, but while I was working with this project, this chip, I was like, well, you know what? I should make a breakout for it. Because basically I want to make a very low-cost microphone. It doesn't have an amplifier in it. It's a silicon mic, and it's a MEMS mic. So instead of having an electret microphone and then amplifier, it's all done on silicon. Doesn't mean you should like get it wet or anything, but it has a little port, and it works very well as a microphone, but it's completely solid state. So I have a demo of it, but it's pretty easy to use with something like an Arduino. You would have, I have to go over here. You power it with 3 to 5 volts, and then you get ground, and then the analog output goes to an analog pin on like your Arduino, and then you basically can detect audio, so it can if I speak really close, it can hear me. And this is just a little script that looks for a little sketch on the Arduino that looks at the analog pin and then graphs the maximum value. So basically, it's audio input. What's nice about these is it's extremely thin and small. If you don't want a bulky electret mic, this is the smallest microphone you can get.
Okay. All right. And with that, Lady Ada, is new products. See, right on time. You're all worried about it.
No, look, I just make sure
You're
there's
all
time.
worried. So that's new products. All right, good work. Okay, a little reminder for everyone. The code is dressing code all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. That's just in a few hours. Place your orders now. 10% off all the way up.
All right, I gotta carefully put away these BGA chips because they're so small.
Okay, we're gonna do some questions real quick. So we're gonna do some questions, Lady.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. One of the questions that someone had is, can you explain what the ESP2866 is? It's
it's a microcontroller that has a 32-bit Extensa core. That's the name of the company that makes it. And it's a little, very, very small microcontroller that instead of having onboard flash, uses an external flash chip. So that's why there's an external flash chip. And it also has built-in Wi-Fi. So basically, you can program the SPI chip with code, and the microcontroller wakes up, can read the code from that flash chip, and has tons of RAM in it too, which is kind of neat. And it can connect over Wi-Fi as well as a built-in Wi-Fi capability. So it's pretty unusual to see chips that have both Wi-Fi and a microcontroller inside of them. But the company that designed this, basically took a Wi-Fi chip, crossed with a microcontroller, and then released code to make it so you can code the chip directly, so you don't need to have a Wi-Fi chip and an Arduino. Instead, it's all in one, and that's why it's kind of nice. It's a very low-cost chip, but it has this wireless capability built in.
okay. Someone wants to know if the Arduino Pro Micro has the pin order to use the Pro Trinkets LiPo backpack. Can you use it with it?
I have no idea because I don't really use the Pro Mini.
Okay,
But if they don't have the right power supply setup, it may not work.
Okay, next up, can Adafruit start producing a solid-state relay with 5-volt transformers so it'd be easy to control household appliances like a Arduino in one package? Maybe use a power switch tail?
Yeah, use a power switch tail. It's
Yeah.
pretty much what you want. It's got 2 power connectors and an opto-isolated input, so you're able to use it from any microcontroller.
Okay. Next up, anyone know which stepper controller and drivers work best with Arduino?
I would suggest our Adafruit Motor Shield. It's been used for almost 7 years now, and almost never heard anybody having a problem with it. We also have a TB6612. It's a little stepper driver if you just want to drive one stepper. But if you want to drive 2 or more steppers, yeah, check out our Arduino shield, motor stepper control shield.
Oh, this is interesting. They bought PLA and ABS 3D printed filament, and they removed the labels, and they were trying to figure out which one's which. And someone said, if you char or heat up PLA a little bit, it smells like corn because it's made out of corn.
ABS,
that's a cool trick.
ABS will smell horrible.
Yeah, one smells horrible, and one smells like, someone's making corn. That's kind of cool. That's neat. Okay, more questions.
Yes, if you want to throw up after you burn it, it's ABS.
Okay, someone has a synth kit that they want to maybe sell through Adafruit. Email support@adafruit.com, include photos, and just put attention Phil, and we'll take a look at it. It all depends. Sometimes we can stock stuff, sometimes we don't. It's just on margins and documentation and all the things that go along with selling a product. It's an art, not a science. Next up, can we donate a 3D printer to someone's school? No, but MakerBot does that. They're actually on the educational thing. They want to have.
Yes, they
schools
do. They have a donors choose campaign that they did.
Yeah. Next up, how old is the building are we in? Are any notable companies that are in the building? I think it's 1929 it was built, and this used to be a giant print shop. A couple cool companies are here. Granger is downstairs for industrial supplies.
Yeah, you can go
There's a
buy
Starbucks for caffeine. There is White & Kennedy, which is one of the bigger advertising agencies. I used to work with people who worked there when I was in that industry for a bit. And then there's also Level 3 Communications.
Internet company.
And then also Panavision.
They have a full floor where they do camera rentals and repair.
Yeah.
So it's cool. We get to see people constantly, especially during the pilot season. It's crazy hectic, and they have their own loading dock area.
Yeah.
Because it's constant loading in and out.
Okay. And then I think we speed rounded.
Okay, I got the chips back in the little holder.
Oh, someone asked, can you explain the mini TTL camera and how they can change picture size?
I think you can change picture size, but once you reset, it loses it. I haven't used that product in quite a while.
Yeah.
Almost everybody uses the 640 by 480, because they want the most resolution.
They want the most resolution possible.
I think you can do it, but maybe you can't reset after you change the resolution.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
yeah, there is. There's a couple other notable buildings around here. There's the Trump Hotel. There's also Blood Manor, the haunted house.
Yeah.
I like the haunted house.
Okay.
There's some things like that. So okay, we speed around. Good work. It's time for trivia question.
Trivia question.
What do you want to give away this week?
We're going to give away one of our SPW 2430 silicon mics.
Okay.
MEMS mics.
One thing, let me just press pause on the trivia question. Can you do a shout out to Nicola Kingstree for Jack? It's his girlfriend.
Okay.
She would freak.
Shout out.
Maybe,
for Nicola from Jack.
All right. We should record birthday messages for people.
Happy birthday, Nicola.
Yeah. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Anyways, so the trivia question for this week is pretty easy.
Okay.
How do they win?
They win by answering the question the way Phil wants the answer in either the YouTube or Ustream chat. Whichever one he sees first will be the winner. The winner wins the SPW Silicon mic, SPW 2430. It's awesome. Works with anything with analog digital input. You can only win once per lifetime. If you've already won something from the trivia contest, you cannot win again. We want everybody to have a chance.
Okay, you ready? Here's a trivia question. This one's going to be pretty easy because we already kind of went over it. Who is the creator of Hip Hop Family Tree? Who is it? We have it on the blog. You could go to the blog. You can look at the person.
You can Google.
You can see that the person won an award for their great work. What is a person's name? It's not 42. Someone always say guess it's 42 because it's that whole Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing. Which is, it's funny.
I know, but it's been 30 years.
Yeah. Do. I guess I could, it's not Questlove. Person's name.
Very cool.
Oh, here you go. Hompbots. Congratulations, Hompbots, in the YouTube chat.
It's Ed Pisker.
It's Ed Pisker. So all you have to
Congratulations.
do is email support@adafruit.com, Hauntbot, and you get a little microphone. Just say in there, I won the little microphone thing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. That's it.
You could use this microphone to record your own hip hop.
You could. You are done with the show. Good work.
Okay.
Thanks
I have
for.
to keep moving this way. I don't know why.
It's because the Earth is tilted
I guess so.
and it's round. And these are excellent things you can talk about with Neil deGrasse Tyson on Friday.
I will do that.
He posted something on Twitter. If the Earth stopped and your feet were bolted down, your head would fly off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
So he thinks about that a lot.
That's good science.
That's what physicists think about a lot. They're like, the
Yeah.
Earth stopped. What would happen to your head? So, anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Jessica, Adafruit team member manning the chat room and helping out behind the scenes. All the entire Adafruit staff, everyone who keeps things going here, even when we're away, which is rare, but it happens. Special thanks to the community and the customers out there. Remember, we have no loans, no venture capital, and I've ruined all chances of us being in the New York Times tonight. Because they watch the show every week. This is where they get their guidance from. No, and special thanks to just everyone out there who always helps and supports us.
Thanks, everybody.
And we'll see everybody next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Ask an Engineer, 7:30 p.m. for Show and Tell. Tomorrow, 3D Hangouts at 3 p.m. with Noah and Pedro. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. And then occasionally we have other videos.
Okay. Time to show a cat.
Yeah. Dressed in code. Picture of a cat.
See the cat. If you watch the Periscope, you can see the cat live.
Yeah, nice.
He moves.
All right. We'll
He's
see
warm,
you
fuzzy.
next week. Here is your moment of Zener.